way that it's supposed to be going?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Malolele, 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 fefe ake.
Saipe, fefe.
Saipe malo. Ko ai o ingoa.
Ko Nadia. Ko ingoa.
O ko ingoa.
Ko ingoa.
Ia malo Nadia ko saya. Ko ingoa ko saya. So we've just finished a few months of preparation for Polyfest, and
well, not us, our daughter.
Well, yeah, and we were supporting her in her preparation for Polyfest, which finished with the Poly Festival happening this past weekend, which our daughter participated in for the first time. And I just wanted to reflect on the whole process and the experience and what we both kind of took from it. So, yeah, do you want to start us off?
Well, I wasn't as involved as you in it, but I did all the pickups and stuff, and obviously we have another child that also has things to do on the weekend, so I wasn't really able to be as involved as I'd probably like, but I don't know, I enjoyed it. What was that?
That's a loud ass cricket, that's what that is. And down in the basement at the moment.
I can't believe I could hear it. That was loud.
Yeah, well, the mics are amplifying it as well.
Holy.
I'm just hoping it doesn't. It's right there. I think it's right there.
Oh, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, but it was awesome. I mean, what I loved about the school performance was the singing, the actions, and that it was just not only Tongans in the group, that there were other cultures that were representing Tonga, you know, which was really cool. So I just thought it was an all-round great experience, and really my first time I ever went to Polyfest. So
Oh, really? You've never been there before?
I'd never been there before.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, so I'd never been there before, and
Did you have any expectations of what it would be like?
nah, nothing. But that's how I like to go into most things, is to not have expectations. But I think it would have been more pleasant if it wasn't raining and cold for me. But aside from that, the performances were incredible, and everyone did such an amazing job. You know, some of the performances that I have seen, they were pretty epic, I have to say. So all of the high school students really worked really, really hard, you could tell, to get to where they were. So.
It's a big deal, and it's interesting because we have friends who their kids go to a school where it seems like the school has a reputation for when they perform at Polyfest that they need to uphold, which means that they either place or they come first, or
they don't even go at all.
And that was interesting to me too. Like some schools don't go because they consider their school has not been good enough to compete at that point. There's no point competing if you're not going to place, which is unfortunate to me, because it's like this idea that competition and placing is the primary objective, as opposed to allowing kids an opportunity to represent their culture and just like express themselves and their love for their culture.
And I the other thing I wonder is that the right thing to do? Because it's sort of like, if you go into it with an expectation that you're going to place, and even in life, right? If you do something and you're not going to win, should you do it at all? I don't know if that's the right message.
Yeah, 100%. Because that's actually not how life works. Like, if you were to not take any job interviews because you knew you weren't going to get the job, or you weren't confident that you're going to...
You have that expectation on yourself that you're not going to do it, then why bother? Then you become apathetic in it, you know?
Yeah, you wouldn't take on any opportunities in life if you're just like, I'm not going to play, so I'm not going to win, no, I'm not going to do this. And he said, why am I bothering to like even, why do I even compete? And that's what learning is all about, which, yeah, that competition really removes the ability to just, well, a lot of things, removes a lot of things. And
but at the same time, we don't know also the details as to maybe some other things of the reason why they've decided not to do it. But that was one of the things that our friend talked to us about, and we thought, oh, that's a bit odd.
Yeah. So I've been to Polyfest a few times before. One time to support my cousins who went to Kelston Boys, and I think they're a school who traditionally might place somewhere, and there was a lot of expectations for them. I remember Sasha
they did place.
Yeah, so, well, they placed this year, but when Sasha and Willie were performing, or it was Willie who was performing, I think they didn't get the result that they wanted. They were really disappointed. But this was my first time going as a father of a child who's performing, and so the whole process of preparing for it was just so fun for me. You know, not going to any previous Polyfest and performing there, because I went to a school that, yeah, we like, you could count the number of islanders on both hands, and that was it. So we weren't involved in Polyfest, and being able to be part of the process leading up from like all the practices on Saturdays with the whole family, and seeing our daughter practice like multiple times a week during school, after school and whatnot. And those Saturday practices where families would come along, and I had the opportunity to also join the musicians to perform the song and play guitar with them, and even just like getting the lyrics to learn the songs of the two items they performed, like, was really exciting for me, because these are songs that I don't know, and I was excited to learn them. And just like being in a group situation where you're singing with a collective, like, I love that. It's so fun.
The singing was incredible. Like the way that the students sung was just, even going to some of the practices, I would just come just to get immersed in the singing. It was beautiful.
Hey, so what I noticed is that there, and you weren't really as involved with the singing for the reasons you mentioned. And I mean, you're not Tongan, you don't speak Tongan, so then like to get lyrics and try to like sing along would be a little bit an extra challenge on top of everything else. Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna wait till you finish.
Well, I was. Yesterday I was looking up the schools. So yesterday, I'll cut that up. So yesterday I was looking up the schools' performance to see if I could find, some footage from the weekend. And I came across footage from maybe last year or the year before, I can't remember. But it showed the girls from the school performing, and I think it was last year, and they had two teachers who were also part of like the support team who were there at all the practices this year, and they were on stage as well, just like they were with us this weekend, and they were singing the songs. One of the teachers, and they're both like Palangi teachers, and I saw one of them singing the songs. I was really impressed. I was like, oh yeah, go lady. Obviously she must have been at more of the practices than she was this year, because I didn't notice one of them as much this year. But yeah, man, it was really cool to see like these Palangis part of the group in the back singing. Sorry, and what were you gonna say?
Well, I like to learn how to sing in different languages, just in general. So if I had the opportunity and we didn't have the commitment of having to take our son to other places, I would have totally enjoyed.
You would have loved it, because you know some Tongan songs.
But I also love singing, even though my voice is not that great, but I love singing.
Well, you know one Tongan song.
I do, yeah.
Which is a prayer. So, something that I learned as this whole process was new to me is the different names, or at least one of the names of like the people who support in the background and then sing.
Oh yeah.
Because initially when I started going to the practices, and my mom was like, are you going to join the Langitua? tua.
Langi tua.
I was like, what's the langi tua? And she's like, oh, that's the people in the back who support and sing along with the kids. I was like, oh, okay, sure, why not? And I didn't hear that word again until the day of the performance on Saturday,
Right.
when the stage manager was organising the different schools. When we were up next, I should say, okay, all the langi tua, you come line up and you guys will be on next. So you go first, langi tua, and then the girls will follow after you. I was like, oh, yeah, with the langi tua, that's right. And then, of course, the name of the musicians is pretty straightforward. You have ta mea. Ta means to perform or to play, and ta mea is referring to instrument, means instrument.
Right, right.
So kau is kind of like the word ngā in te reo,
Oh, yep.
which refers to multiple.
Yes.
So the multiple musicians, all the musicians, kau ta mea, which was the bunch of us who I was a part of. And the thing with these guys is that they seem like seasoned cover participants, and they probably perform at their cover club or whatever they do, or wherever they perform. I'm assuming probably at a kalapu and wherever else, at church maybe. Actually, I noticed one of the guys in the video that I saw from last year, the same guy who was there today. I think he's a brother of one of the students. And yeah, when I was sitting there playing with him, he taught me a few new things because
Yeah. Because
were you going? Was it you?
that was me.
Oh, I was like, why is it playing a bad? Oh, my bad. Yeah, because the tuning of the guitar is, that we were playing in isn't a normal tuning. So he explained to me that the guitar tuning that we're playing in is drop D, which means you tune the existing tuning of the guitar, which has like the top string is usually in the key of E.
Right.
You tune it down one whole
Octave. No, not an octave. One note.
note down.
Yeah.
To D.
Yeah.
And so you're not singing as high. So he tuned my guitar down, and then showed me the chords that we were playing, because I was trying to play it in the key of E. And it was really cool. I just saw it all as a learning experience, and I knew like I'd probably make some mistakes, and I did make a mistake on the day, which I didn't. We hadn't rehearsed anything.
Right.
Even like there wasn't any communication about how we would dress up. But I knew we should probably wear a white t-shirt when we go there, but not t-shirt because we treat it as a formal event. That's usually what you would wear. So luckily everyone else was dressed in a white top, and then we had the awalang, the pino as well. But I didn't realize how the musicians were supposed to line up. So when we went on stage, because the guys were telling me, yeah, you're in the front, and I'm like, oh, I was reluctant, but I was like, yeah, I'll just do it as I'm told. So when we went up on stage, I was in the front, but we all went to the backstage and put away our bags and stuff, and guitar cases, took the guitars out, and I was struggling to get my guitar out. Like one of the locks, a couple of the locks just went like, I was trying to figure out why it wasn't opening, and I realized the latch hadn't come down. I unlocked it, but the latch hadn't come down. So it took me like a minute maybe, or like 30 seconds, which like when you're in performance time, everyone's already lined up.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah.
So I stand up and I see all the langi tua already lined up, and then all of the men, the guitar players, the kau-ta men are lined up, and Mike sits right at the end on the opposite side, and I'm like, oh gosh. So I quickly grab my guitar and I quickly walk across, and the bro who I'm sitting next to, he adjusts my chair so I can slot in, but that wasn't, it wasn't a big deal, but I was just like, dang it, here I am trying to learn, and I'm making a mistake, but anyway, I wasn't too fussed about it. Hopefully it didn't like affect the performance or anything.
I don't think it would have. But who am I to know? I don't know what the judges.
Yeah. But it was a fun day, like from all those practices that we went to on the weekend to like the kind of final, you know, performance on Saturday. It was just a great way to finish it off. And yes, it was raining. I mean, you have a lower tolerance for cold temperature than
I do.
So, and I was just marveling at the whole day. I was just like, this is such a cool buzz. I was knackered by the end of the day, but it was worth it. Absolutely worth it. Such a great
100%. Like seeing the students perform and just hearing the singing, it was great. And for the girls to be doing it with their friends, that's something special.
Bro, this cricket's killing them. This might be the end of it.
This is the ASMR cricket.
Just one more thing. I think I was telling you yesterday how I might cut this better, I don't know. But I was telling you how I have an empty feeling now that we know that the practices are that we're not going to go back to the school on Saturday to like keep learning the songs, and because even though we would be there for hours, I wasn't like bored at all or anything.
It wasn't a burden or anything.
It wasn't a burden. I loved it. So totally can't wait for next year, and hopefully it's just as fun. It should be just as fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be fun.
Anyway, this cricket's probably just taking over, and that's us for.
That's awesome.